Right. What's going on, everyone? We are live here for a very impromptu grafting workshop. Now, I've got Adam here. Adam is, in my opinion, a grafting master. Adam's been grafting for how many years?
6 years.
6 years. But when I say grafting for 6 years, he's been grafting professionally for 6 years, right? So thousands of grafts a year. In fact, actually helped graft a lot of the trees that we did not know we purchased trees that he had grafted until we started talking, and it was just such a small world. So so for everyone that wanted to learn how to graft, we've been grafting now for the past it's all a blur, but I think 3 days. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and he's grafting with us tomorrow. We've grafted almost 1,500 trees.
Are we up to that?
Almost. Well, by tomorrow, because we have the other 350 coming. So 1,200, like 1,100 trees by the end of today. 1,200, and then by tomorrow it'll be up to 1,500 trees. So tons of trees. So Adam has graciously accepted to doing a really quick kind of quick crash course on grafting, because we brought him here to help us graft, but I thought it'd be an awesome opportunity because Adam actually is starting up a business. Before we get started, why don't you tell them a little bit about what you're doing, name your business, where they can find you.
Yep.
Because that way Adam's doing some crazy cool stuff. He's like a man from my own heart. We have just incredible, great conversation, great chemistry in like a non-weird way, just like a very normal way. It's just a very, we're like, everything we talk about is like, we like fishing, we like gardening, we like farming, we like nature, is hiking, backpacking. It's so cool. So anytime that I can kind of help highlight other people doing amazing things, I think you guys are going to love this. So why don't you tell them a little about your business, where they can find you, and then we can graft a couple trees, and then they can go try it out on their own.
Got it.
So yeah, tell them about your business.
Yeah, so my name's Adam. My business is called Permaculture. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Permaculture. And the business is it's located in Perry, Michigan, which is between Lansing and Flint. I currently grow a market garden. I'll be at the Brighton Farmers Market every Saturday this summer with all sorts of mixed veg. The other part of my business is it's called Perry Pawpaws. I grow pawpaw trees, grafted and seedling trees, which I sell and ship through about 50% of the United States. The eastern half of the United States, I ship those trees through my website, perrypawpaws.com.
So for the hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of you that have said, Luke, would you consider selling pawpaws? Luke, would you consider carrying pawpaws? We can't do everything. We can't do everything. In fact, Adam and I have spoken at length about just like specializing and being really good at a few things, and not trying to be everything for everyone. And Adam just conveniently happens to do just that. So if you want to get your hands on some pawpaws, check out Adam. Give Adam a follow. Check out his business. And like you said, you ship. So even if you're not local, you can check out his website. Again, one more time, give it to them in case they missed it.
Yeah, it's perrypawpaws.com.
Perrypawpaws.com. And you're grafting all yourself, right?
Yep.
Yeah. You got you
should have 1,500 to 2,000 trees this year that should be available. Like late May, early June, the inventory will be on the website.
Sweet. I love it. So at least you give them a follow, and then but you got other stuff too. You're talking about blueberries, and you're doing a lot of other stuff.
Yep. Not quite up to scale yet. The blueberries are huge, so the only local people you got to come to the farm to pick those up.
But you're doing a lot of stuff though.
Yeah.
So, but pawpaws are your main thing.
That's what's available now. Yep.
Cool. And I just know there's a lot of people, There's a ton of people that have a lot of interest in pawpaws, just because I think, aren't they like the largest fruit native to North America?
Yes, correct. Yes.
So crazy. And for those of you that haven't tasted pawpaws are, it's like a banana meets kind of it's like a strawberry banana,
like a banana mango pineapple
banana
deal.
Yeah,
very sweet tropical flavor. Yep.
And most people have never tried them because And we were talking about this I think yesterday.
Yep.
You can't, they're not commercially viable because they have such a short shelf life.
Right.
That yeah, after picking a couple days, they're basically gone. So yeah, so go check them out. Absolutely. But I'm gonna flip the camera around front facing so that Adam can show you. We're gonna show you 3 different types of grafts. So we've been grafting. We've been grafting away. This is a small sampling, by the way. Small sampling. This is, I don't know, maybe 100 trees, 150 trees here. And like I said, we got a couple thousand inside our grow room. I don't know if you see in way in there. Every box is loaded up with just hundreds of grafts. So we've been grafting like crazy. I say Adam's been doing the bulk. He's a machine. But we've been having a great time grafting. And so he's going to show you 3 different grafts that you can do to graft your own trees, because grafting is the best way to get free trees. You're nearly free. I mean, you technically can do it free.
Yep.
But you buy the root stock. The root stock is going to cost you $3 to $5, or you can go dig your own root stocks. I mean, you could dig a
Wild plum tree.
you could dig a wild plum, a wild little crab apple tree. You could make your own root stocks technically, and do it totally for free. But it's a very inexpensive way to get your hands on some awesome varieties for your garden. So, all right. So I'm going to flip the camera around here, and then let's see here. There we go. When I go, there we go. Layout. I gotta. Sorry guys. Usually Hannah is the one doing this here, and there we go. Front facing. This is when one man does everything. This is why I have Hannah here. All right, and we have the back camera. Okay, cool. All right. So, all right. So I've got basically I can see you.
Yep. Right. Just let me know if I'm not.
Yeah, where you've been grafting is what I've got you on.
Yep. Great. So the first one we'll do is called a whip and tongue. You're going to only want to use a whip and tongue when you can size the scion wood, which is the piece of wood that you know the variety, what it's called. And it's similar in size, pretty close to perfectly the same size as the rootstock. So you want a cut that looks about like that. On apples, somewhere between 1 inch to 2 inches is plenty. What you're trying to achieve is lining up the green space, which is the cambium. You want to expose the green around the edge there on the scion and the rootstock, and you're trying to line that up, which is why you need this to be the exact same size as this, so that the cambium lines up on both sides. So once you have a cut like that on your scion, I stick it in my mouth to keep it clean. And then you want to go to your rootstock and just eyeball it and see where it's pretty close to being the same size. And so your first cut's probably not going to be perfect, which is okay. So you just come in and say, okay, that's a little bit long. So I'll try and shorten that.
And tell them a little about the knife too. I think that's important because the knife matters. Yeah. It's a single blade or a single bevel.
Yeah, so it's a single beveled knife. So this flat side, I don't know if they'll be able to see it on here, but this side is completely flat. This side comes down, if you will, with the bevel. That way, they have a lot more control as to where the knife goes. So it'll just slide nice and flat along instead of maybe diving down or coming back up if it had a bevel on both sides like a normal kitchen knife. And so it's okay if you don't get the cut perfect the first time. You just kind of whittle it down. The other thing you need is it to be really, really sharp, which is why you'll see I've got some tape on my thumb.
Yeah.
Right, so that I'm not cutting my thumb. Because you'll see what I do is I like to guide the knife I like to guide the wood with my thumb. So every single cut, the blade ends up touching my thumb, which is why, as long as you're not going up and down on the knife, you're not cutting, but it will start to hurt after a while, just touching a blade like that 1,000 times in a day. So anyways, once that's pretty close, once that's still just a little bit long, I don't know if they can see that. It's a little long. We'll try and shorten that up just a little bit more. That looks about perfect. So that's what you'd call your whip, right? And then you want to get your tongue. So what you do is you just kind of come in and you got to let the knife do the work. If you really start pushing, you're going to end up coming out the back side and hitting your index finger, which obviously we don't want to do.
It'll look like that. It'll look like that.
So what you're shooting for is somewhere between the top and the bottom, about 50% to 2/3 from the top. So somewhere between halfway and 2/3. You're shooting for in there on both sides. Okay, so I've got that cut on both. And then you can just fit that together like that.
Patty, there's a grafting method that is for you. The band-aids are from many years of, learning that yeah, you're gonna end up with a couple. It's like beekeeping. You're gonna get stung a couple times, right? I mean,
Yep.
you're gonna cut yourself a few times. There's some really safe methods that Adam will show you. Very safe. You don't need any crazy knife skills to do. And sorry, what are you're doing this now?
Sorry, yep. So once here, I guess we'll show. Once that lines up like that,
You want to line the cambium up.
it's not perfect, but it doesn't need to be, right? Especially on something like an apple. Just get as close as you can. And you want to wrap your rubber band around it just to seal things. It keeps a lot of the moisture in there, keeps everything touching itself. You don't want to wrap it too tight. If you wrap it too tight, what you'll see later in the season, so like what are we having? We're having March right now, late March. Once you get into like July or August, you still want this wrap on there until next spring, but the tree will be growing by that point and it'll start to swell. And if you wrap that too tight, it'll girdle your tree. So that's a whip and tongue. It's done. The next one that we'll do, I like to call it an approach graft. Some people might call it a side graft. So you'll start the same way as the whip and tongue. You want to have a little bit shorter of a cut. So you'll start like that. And then on the back side, you just give it a little bit of a notch. And I'll show you what that's for in just a second. The other thing I just did was I cut off the rest of that scion because I only need 2 or 3 buds. So I've got 1, 2, 3 buds is plenty. And with the approach graft or the side graft, you use that when your scion wood is considerably smaller than your rootstock. You can see, obviously, it's much smaller. It's not going to line up the way that it did with this, with the whip and tongue. So what you'll do is you'll set those next to each other like that and line that up. Kind of pin that with your thumb. And you just want to mark the side of your scion on both sides. Okay. Once you've got that marked, so I don't know if they can see it,
Yep.
but there's a cut there and a cut there that's the same width as your scion. You'll come just kind of eyeball it just a little bit higher to where that little lip that you made is going to fit down in there. So you'll pull this bark back just a little bit. Just kind of guide it in there with your thumb. Pull that back, okay? So that can fit down in there. That's just that little bit of cambium that my thumb is holding. That's all you're going to need to get that graft to take. And so same thing. We'll just wrap this up. Tie it kind of like a balloon. Again, you're not tying it too tight, but you want it nice and snug. There's your approach graft or a side graft.
Sweet. And then last one.
Show them what a wedge graft.
Yeah, this one is, I think, the safest.
Yep.
Probably the safest by far. And I don't know, I mean, in terms of take rate, probably similar take rate.
Yep.
So
That'll be fine.
Yeah.
This one's pretty easy to do. You're going to start that the same way again as your whip and tongue. Okay, and kind of whittle that down until it's roughly halfway through. That's a little past halfway, but that's okay. And then you'll do just the same thing on the other side. So you've got pretty much, it's pretty close. That's not quite straight, so maybe we'll straighten that up a little bit. That's a little better. So both,
Many years of experience. That's
right,
crazy.
so both sides pretty close. I mean, this side might be a little bit lower than that side, but that's okay. It's an apple. Same thing. We'll cut that to just a couple of buds. You can do this when your rootstock is the same size or again larger. If your scionwood is too big, it's much bigger than your rootstock. It's probably not something that you're going to want to work with. If it's a little bit bigger, you can get away with it, but I wouldn't do very much of that. And then so what you can do is you're just going to line that up about halfway. And again, just let the knife do the work. It's okay if it takes a minute. If you just start shoving that down in there, sooner or later, it's all going to give at once, and you're going to slam into the top of your thumb with a super sharp knife, which is obviously not what we're looking for. You just work that down in there like that. Pull that out. So you can see on this one that the rootstock is bigger than the scion. That's okay. We'll just push this down in here and just line one side up, right? So you line one side up like that. That's enough. It's okay that my scion wood cut is a little bit bigger. And maybe shove that in a little bit more, but you really don't need to. So everywhere where you're seeing that V, the cambium has lined itself up. And this one we'll go ahead and wrap a little bit tighter just so the air space down in here gets pinched back together.
And then we should probably talk about.
Yep, talk about our dot farwells.
Yeah.
So you can use a lot of different things. Parafilm works, latex-based paint works. I like to buy, it's called Doc Farwell's. It does not come in a can this size. It comes in a gallon. So if you can find like a local nursery that sells some of this in a smaller can, that's going to be what you're looking for. I'm not sure if that's latex-based or not.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But anyways, it's kind of a waxy material, so we'll just.
They also make some tar stuff called Tree Coat. I've seen on Amazon.
And this is pretty similar to that.
But I mean, for someone who's just getting started, I mean, stuff on Amazon can also work too. But
so anything works. You don't need a paintbrush or anything fancy, right? We'll just paint some of that on there, paint some of this on here. Just seal everything up. There's no reason to go light. It's okay to go heavy. You just want to seal up that whole area on every single graft. Every cut spot on your graft needs to be covered in this. Otherwise, your graft will dry out before it has time to heal and it won't work.
which is your favorite grafting style? They're wondering.
I like the whip and tongue quite a bit. That's where you get the most cambium matching up. It's just a higher success rate. Again, on apples, it doesn't really matter. But when you start getting into other fruits, especially nut trees, you need to be just about flawless. The whip and tongue is my favorite for sure.
Cool. Yeah, they're saying they were really impressed at how smooth you could make the cut, but that comes with time.
Yeah,
That's
that comes with probably close to 10,000, finished grafts, which I mean, each graft is a couple pulls. So, you're talking 30, 40,000 times that I've sat there and pulled that knife back and forth. So,
yeah.
yeah, if you're looking to get into it, apples is the place to start. They're very forgiving. It's okay if you give it a try and it doesn't look quite as clean as that. It's all right. Just wrap it up, see how it does. Chances are, if you've got the cambium matched up between the rootstock and the scion, it's probably going to take.
Cool. So there we go, guys. There is, I mean, man, that was incredible, fast, informative, and I'll tell you, I learn more and more and more every time I'm around Adam. Just like I said, soaking up information like a sponge. As I said on this channel, I wasn't born with this information, right? So I was not born into this world knowing how to garden, how to graft, how to grow an orchard, have a farm, do anything like that. I surround myself with people like Adam that are incredibly smart, incredibly experienced, and they have their own specialties. And so, Adam, I really appreciate you doing that. Appreciate you teaching our audience. And I had, while the live stream was going, dozens of people that were joining live late that did not see your socials.
Yep.
So before we sign off, because this is just gonna be a quick, the title said, quick I meant quick, because we're gonna get back to this because we gotta finish because we still have a boatload more rootstocks we gotta get through, about 100, 125, 150 more. Um, so like I said, it's gonna be quick. So Adam, give them your socials again and your website where they can go check out pawpaws for sale, and then and I guarantee you you're gonna get blown up. You're gonna get blown up.
Yeah.
There's so much business. There's so many people that want pawpaws. The comments box is just crazy. I mean, there's people watching from Spain, like Spain and all. Oh my gosh, all over the place. So socials, website, and then we'll sign off.
Cool. Yeah, again, I'm Adam. My farm name's Prairie Permaculture. You can look that up Facebook and Instagram. The trees you can find on my website, perrypawpaws.com. We ship all over the eastern half of the United States, pretty much the Mississippi East. Can't go internationally right now, but maybe in the future.
And it's Perry. It's Perry Perry, right?
Correct. Yep.
P as in Paul, ERRY, permaculture, and Perry Pawpaws.
Yep.
Right, Perry
Yep.
Pawpaws. So, because he's based out of Perry, Michigan, and then if they're local, you said they could find you at the farmers market, right?
Yeah, the Brighton Farmers Market. Yep.
Brighton Farmers Market from when to when,
Yeah, it'll be what 8 to 1 or 8 to 2 every Saturday.
and starting what time?
The first Saturday in May. I think it's the third this year. Yep.
Cool. So yeah, go check it out. Go and please, if you would, go show his Instagram and his Facebook some love. Give it a like, share with some friends, share with some gardening communities. He's just starting out. Just got his business up and going. And it was really great for me to be able to surround myself with someone that's like-minded, someone that wants to start an eco-based business, and expand on the idea of biodiversity and permaculture. And so many of you would absolutely love what Adam's doing. So Adam, thanks again, man.
Cool. Thanks.
Appreciate it. And yeah, we'll catch you guys later. So we're gonna keep grafting. And like I said, we got trees upon trees upon trees. And tomorrow we're planting trees at the farm. So we'll bring you guys along for that. That's also fun. And yeah, so Adam's one of a kind man. So show him some love, and we'll see you guys all on the next episode or live stream wherever we see you. As always, this is Luke from the MI Gardener channel, reminding you to grow bigger. Take care, everyone. Bye.